You described kind of at the beginning of this some like manic episode where you thought that you were God. What was that?
It's still hard for me to process this because what I was diagnosed with was acute mania. Hello?
Hey, what's your name?
My name is Mason.
Mason. What's up, Mason?
Yes, sir. Nothing much, man. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Kick ass.
Found your stream in 2022. I remember exactly where I found the stream, but it's not what I'm calling to talk to you about.
Wait, but I'm kind of curious. Because if you remember something exactly, it must be interesting. Tell me more.
So I work at a theme park, and I was doing haunt repair work in one of our haunts, and I saw you on Instagram a couple times, and then I finally tuned into the podcast, and I listened to your podcast every day for like 8 hours, my entire work day for about a week, and I'm all caught up on all previous episodes you posted since then, which is
no shit.
I'm really married to the game. Yeah.
No shit. So. No shit. That's really crazy to me. Yeah. That's I mean, that's a significant. How many episodes of this thing are there? Like 3.
Too many, bro. Yeah.
I don't even know. But that's a significant amount of. That's probably a significant amount of the words that I have said in the past 5 years of my life, right? I mean, I'm thinking about it, right? Like if you in a 24-hour day, what percentage of the words? Let's say, in a week, right? I put out 2 of these podcasts a week. In 1 week, what percentage of the words that I say are recorded and put online as a podcast? I hope it's not a large percentage. I hope I'm socializing enough that it's not a large percentage, but it's a percentage. It's you've heard a large percentage of the recorded words that I have. Or not even recorded. You've heard a large percentage of the total words that I have spoken aloud in the last 5 years. I hope that's not true. That would mean that I've just been silent and thinking. You know what I mean?
Well, I live vicariously through your words, and I really love the issues that you talk about on your podcast with the viewers and the callers. I mean, I really kind of take your therapy for gospel in a way. But I mean, just living through other people's world experience is enough for me to tune into the podcast every day. So
good. I hope so. I hope that's here because I hope you're not taking anything I say as gospel. I hope you know what. Here's what I'll say. I hope you're not taking anything I say as gospel. But if the point of this, or if one of the points of this is that people are gathering perspectives on the world based on other people's lived experience, if my own lived experience is chucked in there, I don't mind, but you probably shouldn't take anything I say as... I try not to take anything I say as gospel, or at least...
No, dude, it's the best, man.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. I'm trying to take my own words, you know. I'm trying to live better. I'm trying to... I don't know, I gotta get a handle on my brain, but we're gonna figure it out.
Dude, we're all trying to be the best version of ourselves, man, and that's kind of what I'm calling to talk about.
Please hit me. Let's talk about you.
I'm trying to finally become the best version of myself.
Okay.
So June 22nd. So that's exactly a month ago from today. I had a stint of what I was diagnosed with was acute mania. So I kind of had this God complex. Everything felt larger than life. I had hyperactivity in my brain. So the past month, I've been actively coming down from that. And it was a very eye-opening experience for me. It kind of changed the way I think and changed my entire worldview. So I'm calling to see if I can get any advice from you on how to navigate this new perspective and this new journey I'm kind of undergoing here.
Well, before we launch into any kind of advice, if you want to talk about it, tell me more. What did that experience look like?
Well, so since then, I've been talking to a psychiatrist. My parents started to think that I was bipolar. My psychiatrist completely disagrees. But the experience looked like I took 3 visits to the ER, which is more than I had ever gone in my entire life. In 1 week, I had 3 visits to the ER to kind of talk me down from this heightened manic state that I was in. I do think it was kind of like a weed-induced psychosis. I mean, this is just an idiot doing research online. AI has been a big tool for helping me navigate this. I know
Sure.
I shouldn't be so reliant on AI, but
No, I do the same thing.
Right. So I mean, it's very interesting, man. My parents insisted on medicating me. I'd never been on any form of medication before. I had direct symptoms of the medication, so I was taken off the medication, and my parents, I still live with them. I'm 21. I can't really move out in this economy.
Oh, bro!
But I mean,
20, hold on. Before we do anything, I mean, 21. I want to hear the rest of your story, but 21 is a perfectly acceptable age to be living with your parents. So don't freak out about that. And it's also not, I mean, it's an amazing gift that your parents are still heavily involved in your life and care about you enough to be, going through this with you. So I hope you're feeling that love.
Absolutely. It's unconditional love, but it is almost overbearing to an extent, because I still feel like I'm trying to navigate the bounds that come with manhood and trying to find my independence as a man. I mean, I've had the same job for 7 years. I'm only 20. I started when I was 14, and I thought this would be my life's calling, and I could work the rat race and work the 9-to-5 job my entire life. I'm slowly coming to terms with that in this new state of mind, that I might go crazy if I end up working the same job my entire life. But my parents have been trying to instill this foundation onto me that I need to work to make money. But watching you for the last 3 years has been really inspirational, that you can find your voice online, and you can find other means to make money that's not being stuck in the 9-to-5 job.
Okay, yeah, man, let's talk.
My job.
Go ahead.
I mean, my job is very creative. I'm currently at work now. I do a lot of special effects and prop making and
Cool.
CNC work. CNC is a wood router. I'm actually in the wood routing room right now. I got a couple projects to get done, but I thought this would be a more beneficial way to spend my time on the clock.
So you've been. So wait a minute. You're 21. You've been in the special effects industry since you were 14.
No. I started operating rides, and I became a rides trainer, a ride supervisor. Then moved over to special effects right out of high school, and I hadn't touched a hand drill or anything since then. A little quick backstory: I grew up in a STEM academy from kindergarten through 6th grade, so I always had this creative aspect of me that's kind of been untapped up until now, because now I can finally express my creative outlet in a way that I reap the benefits from. The park that I work at also reaps the benefits from. So I'm very savvy when it comes to like 3D modeling. We do a lot of 3D printing at our work. But I mean, I'm self-taught. I've used AI and YouTube to help me out with a lot of these things. But I feel like there's a passion that lives so deep within me, and I'm trying to explore this passion. I have a lot of guest service experience. I mean, essentially growing up at this theme park. So I know how to talk to people. and I know how to put on a stage face. But
Okay.
I'm trying to see how I can apply this in my real life to kind of I don't know, break free from the rat race, I guess. I mean, I started voice journaling, so I do a voice journal on my phone, and then I can take the transcript of that voice memo, put it into AI, and AI helps me complete unformed thoughts that I had mentioned in the voice journal. It helps me organize. It's basically written journaling, but in
Right.
utilizing modern day technology to help me explore what I want to really do with my life. Kind of back to my parents, I'm still living under their household. I have a wonderful safety net that they've helped build for me. I mean, I think I've been pretty coddled my entire life and don't have the real world experience that I envy for. But I essentially live paycheck to paycheck because I put all of my money in cryptocurrency. I know you would advise that I shouldn't put all my eggs in one basket, as my parents have been telling me. But I put 7,000 in there. My portfolio is currently up to 50,000.
Okay.
So pretty exponential
So
gains in the last year and a half. But Dave Ramsey would be the person I would talk to about this cryptocurrency, right?
I have lots. Well, I have lots of thoughts. Okay. Well, also, by the way, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I also feel as though I've been relatively coddled for my entire life. I mean, I grew up in, I grew up, in a house in the suburbs, and my parents, they paid for me to go to college, and they let me live there for, fucking live in the house until I was 22, 23. So I was able to save and do all this crap, and I also felt like I was like, oh crap, I have no semblance of the real world whatsoever, But I'm also of the belief that listen, if you can use that to, I think if you can use that position to, enrich your life, and thereby from enriching your life, you kind of, there's a bit of, I would call it trickle down enrichment when you, use it to do, as like a starting launching platform to do something that's, worthwhile for your life. I think that benefits, the people around you who care about you too.
Absolutely.
So, there's a bunch of other things I was going to say. Oh, crypto. I don't know, man. I don't have any crypto. I'm not a crypto guy.
Oh, you're missing out, man. In utility coins, look into ISO 2022 compliance. Try to invest in U.S.-made cryptocurrencies, something with utility, because it seems like that's where our financial system is headed. For the last 3 years, I've kind of been preaching the gospel when it comes to cryptocurrency, and that's just the way the world is heading.
Yeah, well, okay, again, a lot of things.
I could talk all day about cryptocurrency. I've done 3 years of research on this. Finance in high school is always what I was most passionate about.
Sure, I think it's a good thing, because it's true. You need money to exist, right? And if you're lucky,
unfortunately, right?
Yes, you need money to exist, and if you're lucky, you can figure out a way to make it that doesn't take up too much of your time, so that you can go and do the things that you actually want to do. Crypto, I don't know anything about crypto. I don't want to talk about it, only because I don't know about it. Sure. But I think it's okay to. When I was 21, I had a lot of separate parts of my brain where I was like, I kind of separated my brain into like 3 or 4 categories, where I was like, okay, I need to figure out something I can do to make money. And then I need to figure out something I can do that is like makes art. And then I need to figure out something I can do that gets me around people. And I need to focus on, and I need to make sure I get the money thing down pat, because then it'll help me out with the art thing and the being around the people thing. So
well,
you know,
dude,
that was,
you are genuinely thriving then, because you have all of those 4 checkbox ticked. At your age of 27, man.
It's true. I got I got a little lucky.
COVID was a huge benefactor to that, dude.
Sure, yeah.
I remember going on Reddit and seeing that you wanted to start this thing and call this line. I mean, your story is very, and I mean, your business model, I guess too, you could say, is very inspirational to, I mean, just your everyday listener. I really enjoyed that. It was her name, Ava, that British woman you had on. I just got done listening to that podcast.
Oh yeah, great,
today.
yeah, Anna.
That was a great conversation, man, and it's really cool to hear from your, I mean, I don't want to say older, but your more wise audience members.
No, I agree.
And I mean, just the way you break down those calls is very beneficial to me when I'm trying to experience the world vicariously through, I mean, I guess your callers, right? Because that seems like the best way I can pick up on my flaws, other people's flaws, and again, kind of tying back to the beginning of the conversation, being the best version of ourselves.
Right. I appreciate that. I want to get back into your life for a second. And by the way, just so you know, you've heard every episode of my show, so I guess I'm just saying this to myself, but obviously, you know, I'm not a real therapist and whatnot.
For sure.
But I'm interested. But you've brought up a lot of topics as we've been talking that I have personal interests in, so I'm happy to just like chat with you about them. So you brought up a lot of things that I want to get into. I'm trying to keep a note of all of them. I'm going to rattle off the ones I remember. You talked about masculinity, and navigating that. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yep.
Then you were talking about mania and just general mental health stuff, and then talking about
yes, sir.
Talking about like trying to find what you actually want to do with your life, your relationship with your parents. I'm down to get into all that stuff. Let's talk about the masculinity thing. Where are you at with that? What are the thoughts with that? What made you bring that up?
So there's a couple things that sparked me to say that, but my state of acute mania really made it clear to me that I am a man that is. I'm going to quote Paul McCartney here. Maybe I'm a man that's in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand. That's from a song, Maybe I'm Amazed. And I mean, that really resonates with me because we're all just men and women and children trying to navigate this world for the first time, and how we respond to our adversities and things that really bog us down and distract us from, I mean, I'm not very religious, but God's plan. I mean, sure. I think there's a plan, there's a path that all of us are destined to be on. And I mean, so yeah, I mentioned the man because my parents think of me lesser as a man because of the way that I've been responding to this adversity in my life. I mean, this last 4 weeks has been pretty hellish for my parents because they've seen me in a heightened state that they're not used to. So every time I come home, my mom kind of just says she wants her son back, and the son that she once knew as her roommate. I mean, I've been their essentially their roommate for the last 3 years since I turned 18 and got my full-time job out of high school. They want that relationship back. I think of myself as lesser of a man then because I was addicted to porn. I was addicted to my phone. I was addicted to marijuana. All these crutches in my life that have negatively negatively been impacting me.
Don't I know it?
I've breaking free from those things. I'm finally getting back in the gym. I'm finally becoming the version of myself that I want to be.
Sure.
So when I come home and my parents think I'm lesser of a man because they don't recognize this new me anymore, it's kind of disheartening.
So, you don't have to get into it if you don't want to, but you described kind of at the beginning of this some like manic episode where you thought that you were God.
Dude.
What was that?
It was. I mean, acute mania. I mean, I just have kind of. I've done a little bit of research, but what from my psychiatrist has told me, I had a God complex, where I, it's still hard for me to process this because it was riddled by insomnia. It was riddled by my excessive marijuana usage. There was a lot of contributors to what led me to this state of acute mania. And I mean, it was tough, man. It was a tough like week of in and out of the ER, in and out of fighting with my parents. I mean, kind of spewing off the same garbage that I'm telling you now. But
do you know what solipsism is?
I do not.
Okay, maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't send you down this rabbit. Or maybe it's not responsible to send you down this rabbit hole.
I'm a huge fan of rabbit holes,
but I don't. It's probably not It's probably super irresponsible to send you down this rabbit hole. But the only reason why I am bringing it up is I guess in relation to the God complex.
You said solipsism.
Solipsism. Don't go too crazy on it. Please stay in the Matrix, okay? The Matrix is a nice place to be, especially when you're 20 fucking
Sometimes, bro.
Stay in the Matrix as long as you can. I don't know.
I've been telling my parents I've escaped the Matrix for the last 4 weeks, and they don't understand what I mean.
We can talk about that, but whatever. Solipsism is this idea that your consciousness is because over the past year, as I've been, you've listened to my podcast, you know, I'm going through an existential crisis. As the year has been going, I've also had like a weird God complex of this. And here's what I mean by that is solipsism is the idea that your own consciousness is the only verifiable thing to you. And so
I fucking love that, man.
I know, yeah. Well, it's the only thing that's verifiable to you. And so it leads you down this path of thinking like, wait, theoretically, I could be God. Not in the sense of like I'm like, not in like I'm better than everyone else kind of a sense, but in like I'm the only thing that can be verified. But I also the God, the like a God complex thing manifests itself in this sense of like, sure, I'm God, but also everyone is God because
God lives in with all of us, man.
The idea that, like, I mean, look, I am created out of fucking, like, biological material and carbon and shit that is, part of my parents who were created out of carbon, and it just keeps going. Eventually, if we go back farther enough, we get in from, like, how I got here and how I'm able to have these thoughts and how I'm able to be conscious of myself. We start to delve into things that are beyond the known, and I'm a conscious product of the universe. I am the universe, aka God. I don't know if I believe in like a Christian God, but you know what I mean. Like you're born of the universe. It's
all pretty cultish.
No, it's not. This is everything I'm saying. Like feels very like empirical to me. I know I use that word too much. But everything I'm saying like makes sense. Like I'm created of like, I'm a weird thing. We all are weird things. I'm a weird thing where I'm biological material, like created from the universe itself, and I'm also conscious, and I'm experiencing the rest of the universe. That's fucking crazy to me.
It's a wild concept.
It's a wild concept. So like, be it whatever. The whole thing of like, I'm the universe experiencing itself. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Anyway, I'm sorry. That was a huge tangent, but that's kind of
No,
where
I love it, dude.
But here's why I say you want
to. It's a stream of consciousness, man. That's
sure.
what it ties. I mean, that's why people are so interested, and you have diehard listeners, right? I mean, your stream of consciousness. When you get into talking about a subject matter that's as heavy as that, it resonates so well with a lot of us, like free thinkers, I would say. I mean,
I appreciate that, Mason. I want to keep on subject. I want to keep on you.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So you were talking about. Let me ask you this, man, because what did the when you went crazy and you went to the ER and you saw the psychiatrist? What did they tell you?
So here's the thing. I was kind of in the midst of that God complex, but I was fully lucid and conscious the whole time. So I was actively trying to resist treatment. So I mean, for the first time we went to the ER, everything was pretty chill and dandy. These medical professionals, I'm air quoting right now.
Okay, all right. Well,
didn't see. Well, right. I mean, at least for me, they are medical professionals. They are able to help people who need the help. But when you don't feel as though you need the help in that state of mind, because I mean,
sure,
I was
sure.
Because I was fully lucid and aware of my surroundings. But it was more of a spiritual awakening to me than it was any form of diagnosis that that the Matrix could give me.
Well, okay. I keep having thoughts about this. So, were you when you say that in the time you were there, when you were lucid, you were not rejecting help, and you called them quote unquote medical professionals? As I'm talking to you right now, do you? I'm not in the. And look, listen. Let me finish real quick. And I'm not in the business of. Maybe I am. But I was gonna say what? Fuck it. Do you believe that those people can help you? I had these.
Right. I did think they could help me.
Okay, good.
But when I spend 4 hours of my life not seeking active help because my parents think I desperately need it, it seemed like wasted time every time we went in there. The only time they were really of service to me is when I was having direct symptoms of my medication. So I would go in there because my parents think I'm manic, which, yeah, you could, from an outsider's perspective, you could definitely say I was manic, but I would rather be at home, like going down rabbit holes or watching YouTube or fucking jerking off. Like, I mean, doing something that's productive to me in my life, because when I was sitting in that hospital room, multiple hospital rooms for an extended period of time, waiting for the medical professionals to come in and try to diagnose what I'm undergoing, they weren't of any service to me, and it really just left myself and my parents with more questions about what I was going through.
I want to clarify. I want to clarify something. Are you talking right now from the perspective of you at the time, or this is how you feel right now?
Me at the time. This is me at the time. This is me 4 weeks able to reflect on that time spent. I mean, it's exactly a month to the date. I've been trying to call the last couple times because I thought you would find my story interesting. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's just a lot for me to process. One, as a man, but also trying to find independence and trying to break free from the societal construct that my parents have laid before me.
What is the societal construct
that I need to find a job that will make me money, but during my awakening, I realized that this was not the job for me.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm actively I feel like a caged bird right now who wants to spread his wings and fly, but I'm trying to find what I'm deeply, truly passionate about, to kind of help me. But I mean, I'm 21 and the world's my oyster, right? So
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I probably won't find that right now, but that's I've kind of been banking on cryptocurrency too much to help me find this financial freedom, so I can take like a gap year in my working history to find what really resonates with me. Since COVID, I've kind of had dreams of being a nomad and living in a van down by the river, as Chris Farley would say. Or I mean, taking a sailboat and going and sailing from Seattle down to Hawaii. I mean, like very ambitious goals like that.
Yeah, I was like, I think 2021 when I first was like, oh, I want to do. Yeah, when I was also at that age, I was thinking a lot about nomad adventures and those things.
Yes,
but also, have you ever done anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay.
I mean, other than backpacking, camping trips, really trying to get in tune with the, really just touching grass. I mean, other than that, no, because I haven't had the funds or means to do so.
You're up, what, 50 grand in crypto?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever been out of the country?
Yes. Yeah, my parents were very fortunate enough to take my brother and I exploring around the world.
Great.
Last year, the year before, we went and saw the Mayan ruins down in Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
We had a tour guide there that really opened up my mind, and I mean the sun gods and how the Mayans created our calendar year, 52 seasons in a year, 7 days a week, was all they read that from the sun. And I mean, I think in a lot of ways society is more advanced. Society was more advanced back then than it is now, just because we have smartphones. I mean, I'm an old soul that would really like to unplug from the Matrix, if you will. I mean, because a nomadic lifestyle just seems like how our ancestors intended for us.
Let me tell you this, and this is there's no correct philosophy on how to live. I don't believe.
Right.
And also, you and I might have different interpretations for what the quote-unquote Matrix is. My personal interpretation of what the Matrix is like, you have kind of like where your brain is at when you're in some form of a spiritual awakening and you're seeing beyond the day-to-day, right? And the day-to-day and living in a society and stopping at stop signs and waiting in line at the CVS and talking to someone in a hallway and being on the computer and talking to your mom on the phone and saying hi to somebody who walks past you down the street, like that, like that's the Matrix or whatever,
right?
And or like you're waiting in line at a sandwich shop and you're like, why is this line not going or whatever, that's I get like the Matrix, that's like every day. And then like beyond that is where you're like, oh, what the fuck, I'm the universe experiencing itself, and what right? And my personal philosophy is I was actually just talking about one of my friends about this, and she disagreed. She wanted to live fully outside the Matrix, but this is how I think about these things.
We can live fully outside the Matrix,
okay, well,
but we still need to be firmly planted in reality.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Is I enjoy life the most when I'm 1 foot inside. Always, you gotta keep, especially if you're at the point where you're going through psychosis and you're going to the ER and you're really scaring the people around you. You want to keep. I think it's good to explore that which is beyond the Matrix. But you know what's funny? You know what's interesting is that you explore all these things outside of the Matrix, but then the real spirituality is kind of found within the Matrix a little bit.
Right.
It's kind of found within the Matrix, It's found in very small things. I mean, when you're whatever. Let's say you work at a fucking office, and you're getting a snack from the fridge, and your coworker is talking to you about some fucking thing they did over the weekend, and you're talking to them. Like, that's very Matrix-y, but that's also, but also being in the moment of that conversation has deep spiritual value, you know. So it's fun to explore yourself beyond the Matrix and whatnot, but you bring it back and you use it to, because you also don't live there. Your physical body and brain, you live in society. You can go off into the woods and remove yourself, but I don't know if you're gonna have such a great time. You know, it's good to live in society. So you go off and have your spiritual awakenings and whatever. Do your fucking ayahuasca and I mean, maybe don't do ayahuasca, but go and do those things. But bring it back so that when you're talking to your son one day about some bullshit, it's like you can navigate the thing you can use it to better navigate the thing you actually live in. Does that make any sense to you, or am I on a roll?
No, it totally does, dude.
Okay. Because you realize a lot of things that are matrixy. You have to make money to survive.
Absolutely.
You want a career or to pursue a passion of some kind that requires you to exist within your ego and your identity, right? So the things you want are all Matrixy, but that's good. If you live too far outside of the Matrix, you'll get, I don't know what your brain is like. I only have the experience of my brain, and when my brain goes too far outside of the Matrix, I get lost. I just get lost. I'm honored to, think about that shit, but you get lost. And also you become an asshole when you talk to even when you talk to your friends about the Matrix, and the more you talk to your friends about how you're the universe experiencing itself, the more they're gonna hate you. So
they think you're arrogant. They think you're an asshole, and I mean,
but only if you're being arrogant about it. Only if you are,
right. Well, I say those things because that's how my parents were referring to me when I talk, and I mean, I'm trying to find that separation between me living outside of the Matrix while still living in the confines of my household, while still living in the confines of the Matrix, going and clocking in every morning.
Right.
But it's just a lot to navigate, man. And it seems like I'm too young to be experiencing the world in this light at the moment.
Maybe.
Because,
but I also sorry to interrupt you.
Go
but
ahead. No worries.
Also, in talking about you shouldn't let your parents and the people, you shouldn't let your parents and the people around you dilute you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You shouldn't let them dilute you. You shouldn't let them dilute you, but also you gotta learn to live in the other people's contexts. You gotta have the empathy for your parents to understand. Put myself
in their shoes.
You gotta put yourself in their shoes, and you gotta understand how their brain works and how their world works. And you might be living in this world that's like spiritually beyond what they understand. Not even in a douchey. That sounds douchey, but you know what I mean. But you gotta learn. You gotta take some empathy and have it for them, so that you can be like, okay, I'm gonna. What's the best way to be in this situation with them right now? And that right. shows that because you gotta live in their context. You can't let them. You don't want to let them dilute you, and you don't want to let them make you feel bad about yourself, or make you. I'm
trying hard.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying hard, but I'm trying to separate myself from Agent Smith, actively trying to pull me back into their way of thinking. Right. I mean, I did refer to my parents as Agent Smith, but
that is really funny. That is extremely funny.
But I mean,
well, I'm sorry. I want to ask you. I want to
slippery slope, dude.
I want to ask you. So, I mean, what is going on with your parents? Like, what is the deal there?
They love me almost too much, it feels like. Okay. Like I said, it's overbearing. I've had this unconditional love for the last 21 years of my existence. I will always know they love me, and I will always love them. But I don't feel as though I'm in a constant state to be parented anymore, because I've found that in forms of mentors in my job, mentors in my life. I find it hard to relate with my peers sometimes because I'm an old soul. I feel like a man that's living in the 60s right now. If that makes any sense to you.
Sure.
I mean, I find it hard to come to terms with reality as we know it today, because I'm just reminiscent on past societies, past cultures.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you. What is it about? And I want you to try. I want to try to rein this in and get really specific here. What is it about past societies that you think can't be found in the world that you currently live in? If you can give me a specific answer about that. Because I'm willing to bet.
Well, so I'm immediately
it's not necessarily true.
I'm immediately thinking of the movie Midnight in Paris. Owen Wilson goes to Paris, and he hops in a horse wagon and carriage, and it brings him back to the 1920s, in a time where Paris culture, literature, evolution, and society was at its finest. And what I took out of that message was people in the present are actively trying to go back to how things used to be. And I mean, I'm just a man, and I know I can't chart the course of history, and I can't go back in time.
I gotta stop you. Dude, I'm so sorry for forgetting your name, because I'm really enjoying our conversation. But what's your name again? Mason.
Mason.
Yep. Mason, I'm going to stop you, and I'm going to ask you again, because you kind of did the thing that I thought you were going to do.
Okay, right. Sorry.
You kind of did the thing that I thought you were going to do, which is fine, but I'm going to ask you again. What specifically do you think is gone from the past that you can't find today?
Really nothing. The only thing would be the addition of smartphones, right? I mean, I don't like the way that smartphones make the common man think anymore, because everyone would rather be so sucked into the reality of their online screens. It's really just the modern age of technology we live in. While I reap the benefits of that, I also am reminiscent of a time where I had to go to the library to find information. And
well,
I mean,
Mason, here's the thing, and I get, and actually, I don't think you echo. You don't echo an unpopular sentiment, and I think a lot of people, especially in 21, 27 is not a crazy gap, but it is a gap, and I think a lot of people, we're of the age where we've only known smartphones, and I think a lot of people do realize underneath it that they don't like smartphone culture, and they don't like it, and I think that you're not alone in that. And I think that there's opportunity in understanding that you're not alone in that, and going out to find the more sort of intentional people and intentional communities that you seek. But you don't want to. I just would hate. You're a smart guy, Mason. I would hate for you to waste any time lamenting about the state of the world when you could be finding the people and the places that are worth engaging, because fucking every this is not a popular sentiment, but every epoch of history has had horrible things going on. I mean, we had we had 2 world wars, man. Like, you know, there's never been a state of the world that was utopian. Maybe a little bit in the 90s, but even then, there's probably shit going on. That was kind of when technology was perfect. But anyway, like all the things that, at least if we're going to talk about you as an individual, the things that you seem to want, just from talking to you, I'm gauging that you seem to want connection, you seem to want community, you seem to want to be able to express yourself. You seem to want adventures.
More than anything, man.
Those are.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, those are my 3 big life values: is adventure and community and creative expression. And you can find them. You don't need to travel to fucking the 1800s. Life would suck in the 1800s, man. It
would. No, it certainly would.
But I don't need to.
Imagine a gecko pulling out their gun from their and being a gunslinger, right? Just like Rango, you know.
Mason, I can buy a gun right now.
Right.
I don't want a gun. You can go have an event. You can go to the library right now. You don't have to transport to 1920. Sure. So, you know, if I were just like, again, I would hate for you to be lamenting the world you could live in instead of realizing the opportunities that exist in the world that you do live in. Especially you. I mean, you got it on lock. I know that the crypto or whatever, you understand that you got to try to figure out some way to make money outside of the traditional ways in order to, you know, you understand the concepts of financial freedom and you understand this and that and the other thing. As far as dealing with your parents, I mean, I don't know, man. Honestly, if I had to simplify my thoughts about this conversation that we've had so far, I think you'll figure it out. But like, don't let yourself go too crazy, man. Like, stay. For sure, man. You know what I mean? Stay. And also, when other people
rooted, stay even keeled.
When other people want to help you, you should also be open to letting them. To the degree that it doesn't dilute your spirits and personality. You should let people help you, especially medical professionals, because also a lot of the fucking things that we think of as spiritual awakenings are truly just brain chemicals acting in crazy ways, you know? But yeah, so I don't know. Let people help you. Try to cultivate some form of empathy and understanding with your parents while not, you know, while Definitely. Preserving yourself. And yeah, just try your best, man. I don't know. That was a long rant, but
no, dude, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. I do need to make amends with my parents. I knew we had a kind of drag out fight last night where I just wish conflict resolution was more addressed in my upbringing, because I'm actively trying to keep an open mind and kind of check my emotions at the door when I'm having conversations and really just taking in the full scope of what they're saying. And I mean, that kind of ties back to living in the moment and being an active listener. So you're listening and you're not reacting to what they are saying.
Yeah.
And that is still what I'm trying to juggle and process right now as I try to find my footing in this world, as we all are trying to find our footing in this world. I mean, we're supposed to be ever-changing individuals. And I mean, I'm just trying to evolve, essentially. It's broaden my horizons in a way that most people aren't open to doing, because they're content and they're comfortable in their current way of thinking and in their current environment and circumstances. And the wilderness must be explored. Yeah.
Well, man. Try not to. You know what's funny is I actually do think, especially I think when you're younger and when you're like young and ambitious, there is a tendency to think of yourself in terms of others, which is what you're saying of like, I want to explore the wilderness and I don't want to be like the other people. And that's actually, it's a helpful jump start / motivator to getting yourself out and in the world and doing shit. But then it's funny. I mean, I've been on that journey. I'm still on the journey, but then you kind of do all that stuff and then you come back down to earth and you're like, oh, we were all kind of the same in some way, shape or form. I don't know. Anyway, Mason.
At the end of the day, we're all human, right?
Yes, so. We're all human. We're all destined for who knows. We didn't talk about the job thing yet. We can talk about it briefly if you want. What do you want to do?
Dude, that's still what I'm trying to figure out, because I was content with so when I graduated, my walkout speech was, I want to win the lottery and I want to buy the theme park that I've worked at my entire life. The owner of the theme park saw that and had a chuckle. But I mean, I've kind of been a one-track mind up until my acute mania. So I mean, I would have been content with working at this place my entire life. But I'm actively trying to veer away from that way of thinking and realize there's more to life than working at the same job my entire working career. So right now I think I'm trying to expand my resume. I mean, the resume comes to like gaining world experience as well as my working career. So I mean, I'm almost thinking working for a cruise line and
cool.
being able to see the world while also getting a steady paycheck, living abroad and living aboard a vessel, right? So I mean, I think there's proper ways to go about this that kind of tap into the what I'm actively searching for, and that's just a sense of connection and a sense of humanity. Because I kind of radiate off the energy I receive in the world. So I mean, if I'm around a group of people, my initial instinct is to bring the spirits of others up. So I kind of do that in the form of being a stand-up comedian. I kind of do that in the form of being courteous and charismatic and gentle to others. But when I'm receiving toxic energy or hearing things that I mean that are coming from a place of love, but I need to be more open and understanding.
Yeah,
kind of like you were saying.
But I think that what you're talking, I think everything you're talking about is sort of a natural process of maturity that you undergo. Yeah. I mean, you're still a young man. I think I'll let you go in a sec, but I think that the hunches that you have to make more of your life and do more things and try to put yourself out there by, whatever, going on a cruise line or maybe doing like a work away or some shit. I think they're great hunches. And I think that a lot of the things you're going for, sort of emotionally or spiritually, they kind of come as a result of like natural maturity. So, I'm going to let you go, but I'll say, Don't let yourself go too crazy, and try to let people help you if they feel like they feel like you need help. Mason, is there anything else you want to say to the people at the computer before we go?
Not necessarily to the computer. I do have a thought for you. Have you ever thought about doing a therapy Gecko podcast out of an airplane as you're actively skydiving for the first time, or if you haven't been skydiving before? I think that would be a good piece of content.
I unfortunately hate that idea. I'm not interested.
Do you?
In,
Damn it.
Yeah, I do. I'm not interested in like extreme sports or things that put me in like any kind of like physical danger.
Right.
But I appreciate the idea. Yeah, dude. I think I would
for sure.
No, I would shit my pants. There's way other things that I would rather do than skydive, but who knows? Maybe I'll keep it in mind.
Then to the people of the computer, I just want to say live and let live. And I mean, be the best version of yourself every day. So
beautiful. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the kind words you have about the podcast. Thanks for sharing your story. And I'll see you around the universe, Mason.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for the time. Take care, Lyle. Bye.
You know, it's funny. He said he's listened to every episode. I wonder if he's going to listen back to himself on this episode. That could be crazy. I liked that conversation. Yeah, I do feel like I actually I felt a lot in common with Mason, like thinking about like me at 21. Not so much the existential stuff. I wasn't maybe I was a little bit existential when I was 20. I was definitely a little bit existential when I was 21, not to the degree that I am now or to the degree that I think Mason might be, but I definitely had the same sort of adventurous spirit or desire to find something beyond what I knew. But yeah, I think he'll arrive at certain places again through just a natural maturity. And that was that call. And I am a gecko. Hello?
Hi, I'm Cora. Wow, this is crazy.
Cora.
How's it going?
Yes. You know, actually this morning is going good. I feel good. I'm here on the earth. I'm asking a lot of questions to my brain, but you know, doing the best I can. How are you doing, Cora? What's up?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm feeling. I remember you told the listener one time, "This is the least important conversation that he'll ever have." Trying to tell myself that right now. But,
yeah.
You know, my day's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm on break at work.
Yeah, this is among one of the least important conversations I think you'll have. What's your life like outside of this conversation?
Well, I'm a trans woman. I just moved to Seattle from the Midwest, so that's a pretty interesting change. I'm living with a couple, so it's me and then two people that are dating in a 2-bedroom, which is only the second weirdest roommate situation I've had. But yeah, that's pretty much what my life looks like right now.
Why is that a weird situation for you? Do you feel like you're third wheeling these people?
Oh yeah. No, it's like chill. We're all like queer, so it's not like super awkward. I think we've avoided awkward situations so far. But, you know, sometimes I got to set boundaries, you know. Got to be like, don't share, don't be intimate around me, you know, stuff like that.
What was the other roommate situation that you were in?
My ex. So I lived with my ex for like, wow, I just saw someone run over a traffic cone. That's crazy. Anyways, sorry. So I lived with my ex for like a year after we broke up. And that was the weirdest roommate situation I think I have ever been in. And I think, I mean, obviously that's already weird, but it was mainly weird because they started dating someone like very shortly after we broke up and continued to live together.
Did they have the person that they were dating over the house while you guys were living together?
Yeah.
Were you guys sharing like a 1-bedroom or a studio, or did you at least have your own room?
So I had my own room. We shared a wall. So I did hear some things. It's kind of weird. Kind of felt like I was sitting in the cuck chair sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Whose idea was it to break up?
Theirs.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that is
was
a bit
a-
like, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, it was just like a bad relationship though. So I think they're kind of valid, you know. I think we were together for like 4.5 years or something when we broke up, and I'm 24. I just turned 24, so like we were together for like since like high school. So you know.
And are you out dating anyone now, or what are you doing?
You know, I've been thinking about getting on dating apps. I feel like I've kind of I've not been dating or been interested in anything romantic since I moved. I don't know why. I feel like I've just been like, since I was in a relationship for so long, I've just been like enjoying doing my own thing. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is it? What is your own thing that you've been doing?
Well, let's see. My big three hobbies are like music, video games, and I make like YouTube videos. But yeah, I would say I feel like weird bringing up YouTube videos on your podcast. Sorry.
I was going to ask.
Yeah,
I was going to ask what kind of
spend a
YouTube
lot of time on
videos. What kind of YouTube videos?
So I just started a podcast actually, and then I also me and one of my roommates we both make video essays, and I edit them and stuff. So yeah.
What was
it's
the
pretty
last
fun.
thing? What was the last thing you made a video essay about?
Well, the thing I'm about to upload is, so I make anime videos, but like I'm also queer, so I want to get like a queer audience, right? So I thought, what better thing to cover than to talk about futanari?
What the hell is futanari?
I don't know if you know what that is. Oh god. No.
Yeah, I probably what is futanari?
Futanari. Well, I'm going to be the caller that teaches you about futanari. Okay. So this is essentially like hentai. You know hentai?
Sure.
It's that, but with girls with like massive penises.
Oh.
And that's it. That's essentially the whole meme. And my video was on whether or not it's representation, because it's kind of fetishizing. So it was kind of just like a pseudo-intellectual video essay about that. But yeah.
You know, can I'm very curious about what you think about this. Is the idea, and I don't know, maybe this is a stupid thing to talk about, but like in the current world, right, where like everyone, like we're no longer living in a monoculture, like is representation still a thing? Because like we're all kind of representing ourselves on the internet now, so it's like I don't know. I'm curious what you think, because like I don't know. Do we need like? Are people still like hung up about like representation in like mainstream media if there isn't any mainstream media really? I mean, there still is, I guess, mainstream media, but it's like dying, you know? So it's like when you scroll on TikTok or Instagram Reels, you already get like you're presented with representations of yourself like naturally. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas here, but what do you think about that?
No, that's so real, because like the For You page, my For You page is all people that are like me. It's all queer people. And other than like stuff that goes viral, just ends up there naturally. Like it's mostly people that are like me. So I am represented by my social media intake. So that's an interesting point. I feel like a lot of people have been like so disillusioned by popular media, like movies, like Marvel movies, for example. They were going to release a comic for Marvel called Snowflake and Safe Space, and it was supposed to be representation for non-binary superheroes, but it's like, obviously that's so cringe to have a superhero called Snowflake and Safe Space. And I feel like that's a great example of like, yeah, we don't need representation when it's like $1 billion corporation. They don't know what they're doing. And it's like, we're not even looking for that anyways.
Right. I mean, kind of like, you know, I guess who gives a shit what like the $1 billion or whatever. I don't know. I feel like social media, although people have demonized lots of aspects of it, it has allowed for greater democratization of the media landscape. You know, well, I got a question for you. So, listen, as a queer person, how do you feel when like Target or whatever, or like during Pride Month, right? When all these companies are like, "Hey, look, we have we changed our profile picture to the rainbow flag, but it's still like, you know, we're doing a bunch of crazy stuff behind the scenes." Like, does that do anything for you?
You know, I have a funny anecdote about this. There was like a viral video of someone like trashing a Barnes & Noble Pride display that is like from down the street from where I grew up, like at my Barnes & Nobles. And I think that was like 2 years ago. This year, companies did not really do the whole Pride thing. And I think it's because of stuff like that where people were coming in and like screaming about like tucking underwear. You know, I wish stuff like that, you know, like the Target specifically is tragic because like sometimes they do be having cute stuff at Target, you know, but like, yeah, I don't know. It really depends on the store. Also, I saw there's like always a meme like a Raytheon Pride profile picture, you know, or like U.S. Army Pride profile picture. Like, okay.
But I guess I don't like when you see that, you know, and it's got like the trans flag in it. Like, does that do anything for you? Does that make you feel? Do you like that stuff?
No, I feel like it's more of a meme. I feel like it's kind of like an indicator of just like whoever's president. You know what I mean? Like how which way are the tides turning in terms of which is more profitable? You know what I mean? They don't. It's more of like a. Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything for me. It's more just interesting.
You grew up in the Midwest?
Yes, I grew up in Arizona, so kind of Midwest, kind of.
Okay, was there a lot of queer culture in Arizona?
There is a lot of queer culture in Arizona. It's kind of a weird state because everything's so spread out and it's so hot, so no one fucking goes outside. So the community there is very like spread out and not very centralized, but there are a lot of gay people that live in Arizona.
Were you in a major city or were you in kind of a smaller place?
I was in a major city, so I went to ASU, and yeah, so that area was pretty gay, but there's also a lot of everyone there because international students and just everyone college town, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Arizona is like very weird. It's like, I mean, obviously all the young people are like general like West Coast demographic, but also like we have so many boomers that are just giving like straight like Midwestern small town like evangelical Christian, like who am I about to talk to right now when I'm going to the fries, you know, like nice old lady or like crazy person, you know. That's kind of how it felt for me. I don't know if this is like the same experience for anyone listening. Obviously I'm a trans woman, so I kind of view it through like a more biased lens. I'm sure it's chill for some people, but yeah.
And how has Seattle been in comparison? Just, I mean, sort of just in general.
It's awesome. For queer people, this is like the best place to be. I'm telling you, Capitol Hill and like just Seattle in general, there's like, I mean, I actually am seeing like same-sex couples hold hands in public, which is something I had never seen before, like outside of pride parades. So that's interesting. I think also people in Seattle, this is kind of funny. People in Seattle suck at saying hi to you on the street. I don't know. What do you think? Do you enjoy when people say like, "Hey, how are you?"
They suck at saying hi. Well, I feel like in any big city, you're not going to get people saying hi to you on the street.
Yeah, you're a New Yorker. Can people do that there?
No, of course not. Definitely not. Well, because there's so many people. Like, saying hi on the street is like, well, let me think. No, I mean, when I go back home to Baltimore, like to the suburbs, like I'll say hi to somebody if I pass by them in the suburbs. But I don't think that's really a thing that happens in a big city.
Yeah, I guess if there's so many people, you can't say hi to everyone.
Right.
Yeah. No,
Although I don't, maybe like, no, it's not really a big saying hi to people town. So you're living with this couple there, right?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know them? Were they just random people from Craigslist or your friends?
No, so one of them is like my best friend. He actually asked me to move here first, and I was like, okay, sure. So we moved here together, and then he started dating someone like pretty fast, just because he's like very like social and on dating apps and stuff. And it just ended up working out that the U-Haul Lesbian, I don't know if you've heard that term, U-Haul Lesbian, but like...
What is a U-Haul Lesbian?
So a U-Haul Lesbian is when two queer people start... So U-Haul Lesbian applies to women, but it could be anyone. And it's essentially when the relationship moves really fast in terms of like, oh, we met 2 days ago and now we're like moving in together, so we already got the U-Haul. So it's called a U-Haul Lesbian.
Is that I feel like, and this is purely like anecdotal observation, like I feel like do queer relationships tend to move quicker than straight relationships?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Do. Because straight people have a stick up their butt, man. I feel like the process of a straight relationship, first date is removing the stick up your butt. And then you can talk like normal people, like everyone's so scared. I feel like queer people, like you already have like such like a huge life experience in common. You can kind of get past that like awkward phase, I feel like, a bit easier.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you're just more comfortable. I don't know.
Do you think, like, again, anecdotally from your experience, have you found like that queer people have been more like generally wired for like down for like monogamy from the start? Because I feel like well, like in straight relationships, I feel like in general there's a lot of like hesitancy for commitment, and maybe in the world of infinite possibilities, is there someone else better out there? Do we want to move things so fast? Do you feel like there's less of that in the queer community?
Is there less? I'm sorry, what was the last part of the question?
Oh, just
I'm ADHD. I don't know.
Just like fear of commitment. I'll put it short.
Oh yeah. No, I'm back on track. Yeah, so I mean, it's more like you can. I don't know. I guess it's per person. I wouldn't want to generalize fear of commitment as like a queer thing or not a queer thing, but I feel like maybe queer people just like lack community from spaces where it's offered normally, like maybe family or like friends, or maybe like in schooling, like if you're like not in an accepting area. I feel like stuff like that makes you like want to move faster in your relationship because you want to like fill what you don't have, and normally you don't need to do that in a relationship to get those things, like there's lots of found family. So I feel like it kind of has to relate to that also. So it's kind of an incentive to commit as opposed to fear of commitment, to bring it back to your question. I feel like there's more of an incentive to commit for like community, like you're all in the same community anyways. Yeah.
Interesting. What about you personally? Are you like trying to find a husband or a wife, or like what's your goal?
Oh man. thought I was into men for so long, but I think I really just want a wife, or a girlfriend. I don't want to get married, honestly. It's kind of, speaking of fear of commitment, I'm not trying to get married. That's scary. But yeah, no, I've been thinking of getting on dating apps, but I also want to see if like going to like third spaces or shared spaces for like my interests would help me find and meet people, because I just moved here, so I need to like go out and like find things, do my weekly things so I don't kill myself, like that one guy said, magic on Monday so I don't kill myself.
It's true. You got to have something to make it so that you don't kill yourself. It's very important.
Yeah,
it's very important. Do you have a job of some kind out there?
Yes. Without doxing myself, I work at car dealerships, so it's a very not queer job. It's kind of the opposite, actually. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Tell me more. How's that experience been?
So I work on like I work like non-sales. I work in service. So when I talk to salespeople, it's always like in passing. So this is where I get a lot of like, people suck at saying hello. Like, so these are like my coworkers that I never have to talk to, but we see each other every day, and they all suck at communicating. Specifically at this dealership that I'm at right now, I feel like everyone sucks at communicating except for me. And car dealerships are just like that out here. I don't know. Everyone's like so focused. Sorry, basically salespeople are so focused on selling cars that they're kind of rude. And then the service techs are all just like dude bros. So if you're one of those types of people, it's great. But yeah, no, I'm kind of just here because it makes me some money,
Mm-hmm.
It'd be.
Do you work in sales, or do you like get commissions and stuff?
So I work in service. So I like work on the electricity. I'm like 12 volt. So I work on cars, like the electricity part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very.
What's your name again? Kara?
Cora.
Yeah. What's your? I guess before we go, well, I want to ask you this, Cora, because I know we just kind of chatted for 20 minutes, but was there a particular thing you wanted to talk about when you called?
I feel like I steer the conversation towards all the topics I would talk about, honestly.
Perfect.
So,
what's next for you, Cora? What's your dream in life? What's getting you going?
I want to be an influencer.
You want to be an influencer?
Or work for someone. I'm not doing the cringe thing where people call and ask for jobs. I would never do that. But it's either that or like be an editor for someone, like a YouTuber, So those are my two things I'm working on right now. So I've been editing my podcast, and I got my friend's YouTube channel and mine, and just autistically doing that over and over again. So yeah.
So have you uploaded a video essay before, or is this your debut?
I've done 3 before, but 2 of them. My first one is pretty. So my first one's bad. My second one's pretty good. I'm uploading a 3rd one, and then I have a couple on my friend's channel. I'm starting out though. It's pretty debut. No subscribers.
Have you gotten any buzz on any of them, or at least, because here's the thing, right? It's not about like going viral or getting a ton of views, but like if you post a video essay, right, and you get like 3 comments from people you don't know, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I think I found that. So yeah, I agree. I'm not really like focused on the numbers. I'm kind of more focused on how much like engagement I get with people. So like one of them, I posted about how this anime character is trans, and a lot of people don't think that they're trans. It's from this anime called Ranma 1/2, for context for anyone that knows that show. That got like 500 views, but it got like 100 comments of people arguing in the comments.
Yeah,
because
so that's what you want.
Up, like a controversial topic. Yeah.
Right. See, yeah, that's what people. I think people don't understand about like building internet careers or whatnot. Is that it's not about like how many views or followers someone or something has. It's more about like how many comments there are, because that's a representation of like how many actual human beings are genuinely engaging in the things that you are saying and doing.
Right. No, yeah, I think it's so cool to actually get like that feedback, especially on YouTube when it's like delayed. I don't know. It's very fun. It's like it's like turning in like a video assignment for a class, but instead of a teacher, it's like a bunch of like random 12-year-old boys on the internet. That's how it feels. And I get my grade back, and I'm like, how did I do? Yeah.
I like that analogy. Yeah, it is. It's like you're writing an essay for school, except instead of a teacher, it's a bunch of 12-year-olds on YouTube that are giving you the grades. Yeah. That's very funny. Well, Cora, if you want, you can shout yourself out.
Okay. So my video essay channel is Cora Lex, CORALEX. And then my podcast is called Pleasers. And you can literally just type in Pleasers Cora Lex and it pops up.
Cora Lex, anything else you want to say to the people at the computer before we go?
Go outside. Don't be afraid of making eye contact with people. You look silly. As someone that stops being afraid of eye contact, I'd be looking at people ignoring me, and that looks silly. We all got to start talking to each other more. That's what I think.
Stare at everyone.
Yes. Stare at people in public.
Beautiful. Take care, Cora.
Yep, you too. Bye.
That was fun. What was the thing? Foo something? Something with a foo? Cora Lex. Let's go. I'm going to check her out. Let's see. Cora Lex. YouTube.com/Cora Lex. Oh, okay. This is not what I was expecting to come up when I typed it. Okay, this is a skateboarding person. This is definitely not the right thing. Okay, I'm just going to search Cora Lex on... Okay, here we go. Here we go. Did trans people ruin anime? I think that's the one that they're talking about. Oh, I like this format. This is cool. Yeah, there we go. There's a bunch of people in the comments talking about each other. That was good. This is good. Yeah, I like when people make stuff. I think it's good to make stuff. Rock and roll. Hey, what's up, folks? I'm gonna end this episode by doing a little bit of Gecko Mail. If you're not familiar, Gecko Mail is a thing that I do where I read viewer mail. And if you want me to read an email that you have sent, you can send me an email at therapygeckomail@gmail.com, and I might perhaps read your email. So let's start reading a few emails, shall we? Okay, this first one is from Valentine. The subject line is all caps, "We are sinners." Valentine says, "Dear Lyle, I've been listening to your podcast since the pandemic, and I wanted to thank you and the listeners for bringing together so many stories." Thank you, Valentine. I, 26, from Vienna, Australia, am not religious by any means. But this new year, I walked past a church and thought about going in for confession, mainly because therapy is so expensive, and religions use many tools like meditation that are used in therapy too. However, I didn't go in. I've thought about doing a confession once. I don't know. Can Jews go to confession? I feel like that's who gives it. No one. I think they just let you in. I think you just do it. Anyway. After giving it some thought, I realized that most of the sins, quote-unquote, discussed in confession are religious in nature. Parentheses, blasphemy, masturbation, premarital sex, etc. And I don't feel bad about participating in those things. When I got home, I kept thinking about what I would have said if I had gone in. At first, I couldn't come up with anything. This felt strange because, of course, we all do things that aren't okay, even if unintentionally. The more I thought about it, the more I spiraled into overthinking my and others' actions and whether they are morally right and respectful. I wonder how many people find the balance between being self-serving and empathetic for the community when the line is evil of I wonder how many people find the balance between being self-serving and empathetic for the community and when the line of evil is drawn, and how conscious all those good and evil people in the world are. One of the sins that came to mind had to do with Eric, the man from the Australian homeless shelter. The man from... the man from the Austrian homeless shelter. Okay, wait, I remember this. Do you guys remember a phone call that I took on here? I think this is this person is referencing a phone call I took on here from this guy, this Austrian dude named Eric, who worked at a homeless shelter. One of the sins that came to mind had to do with Eric, the man from the Austrian homeless shelter. In the chat, when I was streaming this on Twitch, in the chat, I commented that I'd love to get in contact with him to go to your show in Cologne. And he replied that we should get in touch. Interesting. However, I completely ghosted him. At the time, I was broke from a trip I had just taken, under immense pressure to finish my experiments for my master's thesis, and trying to find a PhD position. On the other hand, Eric was probably looking to get in touch with me and never got a reply. I'm sorry, Eric. I hope you can forgive me. I hope you and Eric had an amazing show in Cologne and that you'll come back to Europe someday. All the best. Love your podcast. Okay, here's what I'm confused about. When you say you ghosted him, right? When you say you ghosted him, were you guys just in the Twitch chat and you were like, hey, we should go to the show together? And he was like, yeah, we should. And then you didn't say anything else? Is that really ghosting? Because, look, here's the thing, right? We all know that some plans just don't make it out of the group chat. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes plans just don't make it out of the group chat. That's not really ghosting. Ghosting would be more like if you guys got in contact in the DMs and you were like, hey, what time do you want to meet up on the day of the show? Right? If it got to that point, then maybe it's ghosting. But if it was just like you brought it up in the chat, I don't think you need to go to confession for that necessarily. But thank you for your thoughts, Valentine. Okay, let's see here. This is from Jeremy. Subject line, open masturbation, second date. Hey, Gek. I had a girl over at my house hanging out. Okay, this person spelled girl with a U. It's not that important, but it's also a little important. I had a girl over at my house hanging out. We met on the apps, Hinge specifically. We were just chilling watching a show. No physical contact or intimacy had been performed at all thus far this evening. We were watching Squid Game Season 3, and I get up to let my dog out. And when I come back, this girl is completely naked on my couch, legs spread open, using a mini vibrator, casually having an orgasm. Right there. Right on my couch, Gek! Exclamation point. I see this and go, oh sorry, turned around and walked back outside and came back a minute later. When I get back, she's dressed and sitting there watching TV like nothing happened. I sit back down and watch for about 5 minutes in complete silence before I ask her why she didn't just use the bathroom or something, and her response was, I just needed to have an orgasm, you know? I'm almost certain I'm asexual but hate labels, so I just set her up on a date with a mate who's always horny, LOL. I'm Australian, by the way, come to Canberra for a show. My confused regards, Jeremy. Okay, this is what an awesome email. That's so funny. First of all, Jeremy, I have to say, I think if you're asexual, that's all cool. I have such strong respect for you that after all this happened, you set her up with one of your friends. That's awesome. That's a really good. That's a really good move. This woman clearly. I think if a woman comes to your house, and then you go to the bathroom or some shit, and then she comes back, and then you come back, and she's just naked. She's probably. I would probably assume that she was into you, or some. I would probably. I think that's a fair assumption. Maybe she didn't know that you were asexual. I don't know. This is an interesting case to me. But I would ask your friend. I would be like, so what's up? Did your friend and this lady go on a date? I'm really curious about this lady. If your friend ends up going out with this lady and then gives you any more information, I send another email, because I'm curious what this lady's deal is, because something's going on. Maybe. Who knows? Not that it's any of my business, I guess. Although I guess my entire show is about things that are none of my business. You're a good homie, Jeremy. Okay, this is from Brendan. Subject line, stuck in my own brain. Hello, Lyle. I'll keep this as short as I can. Recently, I broke up with my partner, and ever since it happened, I haven't changed for the better. I've been ignoring most social connections I had and feeling nonstop guilt for the breakup and also for being distant from the world. I can't stop feeling pathetic and scared to step back into the world, despite how bad this is for my health. Have you ever been too depressed or distant to want to be a part of people's lives? If you have or haven't, do you have any advice on how to stay positive and go through life even when it seems impossible to do? Love the podcast. Was a treat to see you live later this year. If you read this, hi, you're a cool guy. Anonymous. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll cut his name out. We'll just say this is from Anonymous. Okay. I'm trying to think here. And this is very much a real therapist type of a thing, but it does have me thinking about my own life. I'm the kind of, there's two kinds of like depressed people. Like some people get depressed and when they get depressed, they withdraw and they don't want to talk to anyone. And I have tons of friends like that who they get depressed and they just ghost everyone and they don't want to be a part of people's lives. In my personal experience with depression, I'm kind of the opposite. When I get depressed, I want to... Okay, I'll say this. When I'm... part of what I enjoy in my own life, and is also my job, is like interfacing with new people and new experiences. And trying to find interest in the world around me. And like I have a part of my soul that like loves life and loves people and loves new experiences and wants to connect with as many folks as possible and engage in as many novel experiences as possible and whatnot. And when I get depressed, I absolutely distance myself from that part. And I go, wow, I don't give a fuck about to anyone or anything. And I super distance myself from that. But when it comes to people I'm already connected with, like the people in my life, like my family and my real friends and whatnot, when I get depressed, I tend to be drawn more towards them. If that makes sense. I typically crave social connection from people I already know when I'm depressed, but I lose the part of myself that wants to engage with the world at large. And so, do I have any advice on how to stay positive and go through life even when it seems impossible to do? Within your ability, I don't know what your life looks like beyond just this email, but I've definitely had periods of time where I was really depressed, and I was like, I shouldn't bother dating or going out and doing anything because I'm just like, I can't see why anyone would want to be around me right now because I'm just like I have no energy. And I think typically when I feel that way, it's a sign that I gotta go back in to the I call it the depression laboratory, where we gotta hit the drawing board. We gotta go, okay, something's not good here. Is it a medication thing? Is it a brain thing? Is it a whatever? We hit the drawing board. So I think when I feel this way, I just go back to the drawing board and I go, okay, I'm clearly, you can't force it. I don't think. I'm just talking. Advice is one thing. I can only really just tell you my lived experience, and I found I can't force things when I'm depressed. So if I'm depressed, and I that means I can't go to some social event or do this podcast or do something that demands of me. I don't try to force it, because the idea of you say in this email, do you have any advice on how to go through life, and even when it seems impossible to do? Is if I'm in a situation where a thing seems impossible to do because of my mental health, I just don't do it. And I go, okay, let me go back to the depression laboratory and go, okay, maybe I need to get more sleep. Maybe I need to try some medication. Maybe I need to do this, that, the other thing first before I begin to feel like myself. And then the things that were previously impossible to do, I'm like, oh, they were impossible to do because of something internal that I needed to work out first. And now that I've worked them out, I'm like, okay, I actually can interface with the world after kind of fixing myself a little bit. That's really how it's worked, just for me, in my life. So also sometimes, bro, you just gotta turn your shit off and back on again. You know what I'm saying? So you ever have a day where you're like, yeah, we gotta give up today. We'll try again tomorrow. I think I've brought this up on the podcast before, maybe, but Dr. K, who's you should check him out on YouTube. He goes by Healthy Gamer GG. He's an actual therapist. He's like a psychiatrist guy. I know he does a lot of mental health videos, but he talked about, he says he doesn't dip into reserves. He says he works hard, but he doesn't dip into reserves. And when he said that, I was like, that's fucking genius. So, that's kind of how I do it, is I'm like, I'll be a part of other people's lives. I'll interface with the part of myself that wants to be in the world doing things. And I'll work as hard as I can, and I'll try as hard as I can. But once I sense in my brain and my body that I'm beginning to dip into reserves, is when I stop. And I go, okay, time to turn this off and back on again. I don't know if that rant was helpful for you in any way, but good luck, Brendan. Okay, I'll take one more viewer call. All right, this is from We Found Love in an Email. Okay, oh wait, no, this is from Elise. The subject line is, we found love in an email. Hey, Gek, you spoke to my boyfriend Bryce and I on Valentine's Day earlier this year. We were the couple who called in while sitting in a car outside the art museum. I not only fully remember this phone call, but I often think of it, actually. I often think of it. We were the couple who called in while sitting in a car outside the art museum, thought to send a cute little update. We both cherish that episode. One thing I liked about this couple is I remember they were a little bit older, and they were on like a... I remember I liked this episode because these two, they were a little bit older, and yet they were on a very teenage date. Like, I remember being 16, and I was on a date with a girl, like, sitting in a car in a parking lot. And it feels like, you have moments like that where you're like, all right, well, that was all in high school. That's all gone. And then I was talking to these two, and I was like, oh, shit, they're still doing it, So I thought it was cool. Okay, as a refresher, me and my boyfriend met in January of this year through Hinge. Bryce had asked me to be official in March, and our relationship has grown so much since we last spoke to you. We've traveled together, met family members, connected on a very emotional level, and we can both confidently say that we've never felt safer with anyone before. I love that. And look, these guys met, when they were 29 or something like that? For all you young folks out there afraid you'll never find love. In our episode, we had briefly spoke about how many tribulations it took to find each other. I'm writing this not only as a form of a love letter, but I also wanted anyone in the dating scene who hears/reads this to feel inspired to keep putting themselves out there. I'd like to see this as a pay it forward, because there was a force in my life who inspired me to keep putting myself out there, despite feeling hopeless toward dating. And if it wasn't for that, I would not have what I have today. So if you happen to read this, thank you, and thank you for all you do. Much love. Take care, Elise. Wow, that's a great email to end on. It's tough, man. It's tough. The apps are a grind. Real life is tricky. It's hard. It's hard for men and women out there. And I think a lot of people, they get a little disillusioned, especially if, things haven't happened at certain periods of time where you may have expected them to have happened. But yeah, I don't know. I've talked about this on here before. My parents are divorced, and they're both remarried. And they got divorced when they were in their fucking... I want to say my parents got divorced in like their mid or late 40s. And they're both remarried. And the people that my parents are remarried to, my stepmom and my stepdad, are significantly better matches for them than each other. I mean, shit, I think my dad met my stepmom when he was fucking 49 or 48, 47. And they have a great relationship. They've been together for a while. My mom met my stepdad when she was at a similar age. They've been together for, they have a great relationship. So, yeah, I agree. Just keep putting yourself out there. Life. Okay, well, this was a fun podcast. This was a good one. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Cora. Thank you guys for calling. Thank you guys for emailing. Thank you guys for listening. I am folks listening on Spotify or on any podcast form. Although mainly Spotify. I'm going to be... So this is the last thing I'll say before we go. I made this video. I don't know if you guys remember a caller named Diego from an episode back in December of 2024 or 2023. But there was a caller... There's this guy who called me on the show from Tijuana, and we talked about the Tijuana breakdance scene. And I went to Tijuana a couple months ago to meet him in real life, and I made this little travelogue documentary video. And actually, if you want to watch it on YouTube, it's out right now on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/LyleForever. But I'm also going to try to post it on here on Spotify as like a video podcast episode on Friday. So look out for that. But if you want to just watch it right now, you can watch it on my YouTube, youtube.com/LyleForever. It should be out by the time this podcast episode is out. Anything else? That's it. Go watch that documentary. I want you guys to watch it because I worked hard on it and I want to make more of them. And if you watch it, it will make it so that I can make more around the world. Maybe I'll visit other callers. Maybe I'll go to Kenya. Maybe I'll go to Brazil. Maybe I'll go to the Middle East. I want to do all that shit. Okay, I'm done ranting. I gotta get off. I gotta get out of here. But, okay. See you guys soon. Thank you. Hello, folks. It's Lyle here. That's the end of this episode. But get this. I'm releasing a bonus episode this week. That's right, an entire extra hour of the podcast that you can listen to by becoming a premium member of Therapy Gecko over at therapygecko.supercast.com. Supercast subscribers get access to bonus episodes. They get a completely ad-free podcast feed of the regular show. They get recordings from my live shows, members-only streams, and they help support my ability to continue doing this podcast. So here's a clip from this week's members-only bonus episode.
But I did want to tell a story about the first time I did acid.
Okay, hit me. Was it in Narnia?
I wouldn't say I ended up in Narnia. I felt like all of my bones disconnected, like individually, and were rotating like long ways inside of my skin. Like, you don't know exactly how to explain it, but not like circular, but like...
Your bones are rotating inside of your skin. If you want to hear this full conversation, you can sign up to become a premium member at therapygecko.supercast.com or find the link in the episode description. That's therapygecko.supercast.com. All right, I have nothing else to say.
Therapy Gecko's on the line, taking your phone calls every night. Therapy Gecko's doing it right, he's teaching you how to live your life, but he's not really an expert.